Wake up, get high, all day through the night, prepare to take flight through the sky. Start your day right. Wake up, get high, all day through the night, prepare to take flight through the sky.
Top of the Wake and Bake, everybody. You already know what it is. It's your boy Fax, host of the Wake and Bake Show, baby. Doing what we do best. It's a blessing. I got my guy, Hawaii, Chef for Hire here. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing to have you here.
What's good? What's good?
Yeah, man. You know, enlightening the culture, you know, as it's legal here now in New York City. You know, I want to put them on to a little more than just smoking. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more being thrown out there now that the industry, there's a lot more being thrown out there now that it's legal in the industry, you know what I'm saying? And I've been hitting the streets up, asking people questions, and I'm getting a lot of different feedback from everybody.
Yep.
So what I get from that is that, you know, a lot of people who's in search for more about the cannabis industry, you know what I'm saying? Even people who don't smoke, they're not against it, but they want to know a little bit more about the industry and what it's going to bring towards our city. Is it going to cause havoc? Is it going to, you know, it's going to create more jobs? It's going to be for the good. So this is what we're going to get into today. But before we get into that, I wanted to get into a little bit about Mike before you got started with Chef for Hire. I know you worked in the industry before you even got to Chef for Hire. So I wanted to enlighten people a little bit about who Hawaii is.
Yep. So from which part? So I've done a lot. I worked in the music industry.
Let's start off with the music industry,
Yep.
and then the transition as you know you went from the music industry going into also found out about LTE and Ink magazines as well. So as we go from that, we gradually work our way down into Chef for Hire.
So, you know, I'm from San Francisco, so I was sneaking into a music convention as a kid selling trees, and I got offered an internship, and I moved to New York. And, you know, did things like road manage Mobb Deep during the Infamous album. I worked at the Source magazine a couple different times. The first time I was doing marketing, and then the second time I became the lifestyle editor. And then I transitioned, created my own magazine, LTD, created Inked magazine, and did a bunch of shit, management, and then got into...
What was that like? Like managing and then also creating your own magazine. And who did you manage as well?
So I road managed Mobb Deep during the
Wow.
Infamous album. So I was on the road with them. That was back in '95. And then as far as the magazines, like, you know, I got lucky and just always went shopping, always, you know, knew how to dress. And, you know, from that, I had some friends, and I was already at the Source, you know, before that. So I ended up becoming an editor and the lifestyle editor. So I would do all the fashion stuff, not on models. And then ended up creating my own magazine, LTD, which was just a limited edition lifestyle magazine. So the whole publishing thing was an accident, but it was just, you know, again, it's just passions and things that I love to do, you know, and just ended up being at the right place at the right time to be able to, you know, bring these things to life.
That's a beautiful thing. What was it like being on the road? Because I know, you know, you love cannabis, and trying to get cannabis on the road. While you're on the road, you know what I'm saying? Trying to find something good to smoke. What was that? What would that be like? I'm pretty sure most of the times you guys have, but I know the way you guys smoke definitely ran out of bud at some point.
I mean, 1995 was what, 26 years ago now. Ooh. When I was on the road with them. So it was a different time, you know, like. There was no, you know, most people didn't have good trees. You know, if you had good weed back then, everybody called it chronic because that was just the slang to use. Or I got hydro, you know, so we used to call shit pretendo and all kinds of, like it was tough getting good weed. I mean, even moving out here in New York, like coming from Cali to New York in the 90s was trash weed out here for the most part. And then a few spots started opening up, but it was hard to find just in general. So for me on the road, it's long enough now. I mean, I just always have my own weed. Like,
make sure you have a personal stash.
I couldn't ever, I couldn't be without it. And it was tough. Like I said, it was tough. You talking again? It's 26 years ago.
Yeah.
Name me a strain from 26 years ago.
All I knew 26 years ago was Cess. Cess, what was it?
Yeah, it was like Sensimilia.
Yeah,
but
Ari, Arizona.
yeah, but that's not really a strain.
It's not.
That was just one of the distribution points.
That's absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Or you know, depending where you got it, that was brickweed, but that was, you know, whatever most likely from Mexico.
Some Yardie.
I mean,
Man.
Yardie was different because that was obviously from the yard.
From the yard,
You know
it's
what I'm
original shit. All right, so let's get into a little bit more on graduating from being a row manager,
Yep.
right, and going into the magazine LTE. What was that? Did you maintain the row managing while you was doing the LTE editing at the same time, or did you go from row managing straight into just editing the LTE magazine?
Oh no, I went from row management to the Source.
To the Source?
Yeah, I was at the
Okay.
Source magazine.
The Source magazine. Sorry about that, ladies.
Yeah.
Okay. What was it like working at the Source?
Back then,
Yeah.
that shit was the best. Like, I mean, again, you can't. It's hard to explain if you wasn't there. Like, just like anything, but you know, the '90s was a different time. You know, everything was still fresh. We were still learning the business and, you know, developing everything. So, like, I had a fucking blast. I wouldn't trade that shit for nothing. And I'm sure in other interviews, y'all motherfuckers heard me say this, but I mean, bro, like, the Source was the #1 music magazine on newsstands when I was the lifestyle editor. We outsold, you know, Rolling Stone and all kinds of other publications. And it was really only us and Vibe. It's not like now where, you know, we went through the blog phase. We went through, you know, the online magazine phases. Now we're in the influencer
Real.
phase and social media where, you know, as an individual, you could have a bigger reach than we did as a magazine back then. So you got to understand the pool and our reach and our impact was much greater than what you see now. And the information was way more valuable because it was sparse. You didn't get information thrown at you every fucking second of the day, and every other minute you got a new fucking song out.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? With a new visual, or you got a new influencer doing something, or you got a new TikTok, or you got a new this or that. There's always something. When we was doing this shit, it was us, it was Vibe. Keep naming magazines you can recall after that, and you start going regional. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, and then we was every month. And then on top of that, we had to do shit 3 months ahead of time. So we weren't doing things that was like automatic reactionary. We had to do shit that people was waiting for and salivating for that had depth to it. You know what I'm saying? So what we did was a lot different, and that's no shots. It was just a different time.
Definitely.
Right? It's just a completely different time. When now, you know, it's a speed thing. It's the amount of information you can get to people and things of that nature. So, you know, like I wouldn't trade having to learn with my hands and understanding analog, and then now I can really truly appreciate digital. You know what I'm saying? And all that it has to offer. The fact that we can do, you know, this quality of a production in this small of a room would have taken, you know, way more than that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When we was doing this shit. So, you know, again, like I said, I love being able to cut my teeth in that time. There's a certain romance to that period. That's a huge transition in our culture. It's like the midpoint. It's like us coming of age, you know, becoming adults. So, yeah, bro, it was great. You know, and you know, from there, working at the Source, I got to learn how to make a magazine. I asked the right questions, and then I was able to create my own. So I created LTD, and then, you know, did that, created an agency. So I was doing marketing, all kinds of shit. Like, but again, everything is just passions. Like, everything is just shit I love. And it's music, which turned into hip-hop. It's food, which I just love to do, and it's cannabis, like just my community and all the people that I fuck with. So,
Jeez, I love what I'm hearing so far, man. You're like a marketing, like, you know what I mean, wizard.
I mean, I guess, like, I do marketing, I've done marketing, but
That's dope.
nah, for me, it's
The way
just,
you networking, though, the way you going from working as a row manager to chief editing at the Source, and then
well,
creating
no. Hey, whoa. I was never editor-in-chief at the Source.
Sorry.
I was a lifestyle editor at the
lifestyle
Source.
editor. Excuse me.
I was
sorry.
editor-in-chief at LTD magazine. I was editor-in-chief at Inked magazine when I created Inked.
Okay, sorry about that.
You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Respect due from all my editors-in-chiefs when I was there. You know, Selwyn, Selwyn's, Carlito's my brother. So, you know, those are my people. I was up under them.
Beautiful.
Pause.
All right, cool. So going from that, now we go from
LTD,
sorry.
So LTD, live, translate, define.
Live, translate, and define. Beautiful.
All right, LTD. But it was really the limited edition magazine is how most people knew it.
Okay. So so getting to LTD, how was after that, after working at LTD, how did you transition into chef for hire?
So I ended up doing management.
Okay.
After. And me and DJ Clark Kent formed a management company. And I ended up managing, like kind of co-managing him and this BMX athlete who's killing it right now, Nigel Sylvester.
Wow. That's amazing.
Another artist who was Mr. Flawless back then, but is now Greg Una, going by his real name. Sean CNLV, producers, Jonathan Mannion, photographer, legendary photographer. So I managed all of them. And then I forget where I was. I was at a restaurant. I was out somewhere. And I met somebody who had a drink, like a THC drink. And we hit it off. We became friends, and we started a business together. And long story short, we just kind of separated, went different ways. And I kind of caught the bug of cooking. And so I decided to learn how to do it. And this is like 2011, 2010, 11, 12. And so I just got good, you know, making shit and got really good at making gummies. And wanted a way to introduce them. And so we just started doing a dinner, and people loved it. And just kind of kept going.
And that's how Chef for Hire was born.
That's how Chef for Hire was born.
Wow.
What is this we smoking?
Big shout outs to we smoking on White Plum Mochi. Big shout outs to Ted's Buds, LA Cars, and Dub's Garden, man. So this is what we'll be reviewing today with my guy. This is what we smoking on. Gonna give it our little review. Shout outs to them on the White Plum Mochi release. How do you feel about the taste thus far?
It's not bad. I've been smoking so many different things. My palate is all over the place. It's light so far though, but I mean,
there's definitely a light smoke, but towards the end, it definitely, I feel like it has a head high. It hits towards the end.
That last one threw my palate off. I'm still recovering.
What was the last one we was trying?
That marshmallow.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Sprinkles, right? That was by Sprinkles.
Yeah, that shit was fire.
It actually smells exactly like marshmallows and tastes.
I mean, my
exactly
homie
like
guessed it. He was like, "It smells like marshmallow fluff."
That's dope, man. So let's get into a little more of the Chef for Hire.
Yes, sir.
Now that we're here and we're talking about Chef for Hire, so Chef for Hire was born around 2010, 2011.
I mean, I started kind of developing it around then. I would say I think we officially probably like 2014. I think is when I incorporated, but I think 2015 is when we started the Supper Club. Like I started the Supper Club August 2015.
Nice.
And then that was a monthly Supper Club we did all the way up until COVID.
Oh, wow.
Like literally 2 days before COVID lockdown on the 14th was the last one we did consecutively.
Wow, consistent. Wow, that's dope, man.
So I think we did 56 months in a row.
That's dope. That's super dope. And it's back. We back now, right?
Yeah, I mean we back for sure. Like I mean I never really stopped doing them. They were just more private ones. We just weren't doing anything public and stuff like that. But we kept it, just small friends and family stuff that was intimate. But yeah, now for sure. I mean I did one yesterday.
Really.
Got one tomorrow. Friday, Sunday. So
exactly. I'm in there.
Nah, I mean these are all private ones. So a lot of people just hire us.
Oh, okay. That's good to know, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
A lot of people hire us.
That's awesome, man.
So, we do a lot of high net worth individuals, a lot of celebrities, and, just low key stuff.
Cool. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions since you actually cook. You cook with infused. Do you like how it tastes in the food? Do you
Not at all.
No.
Nah, I don't really use the flowers.
Okay.
So, using the flowers is cool, but for me, it's too much like I would do to it, washing it and just getting the chlorophyll out so it doesn't change the color. And it just becomes a little bit too much direct from the plant for me. I use the plant to infuse liquor, but for the most part, I want the experience to just be the eating, and we use cannabis and the cannabinoids just as an ingredient, right? So I don't really want it to change or alter the profile of the recipe. So that's why we just use extracts for the most part.
Is there a difference in between, let's say, sativa and indica extracts when it comes to?
I think there's a difference probably between almost every extract. You know what I'm saying? The difference between, I'm not really the sativa indica myth believer. I don't really look at it as a clear and direct, like, oh, sativa's an upper and indica's a downer. I think it depends upon the flowers, the phenols, the terps, all kinds of different things. Your mood, who you are, what you got going on, everything.
I respect that. Because I actually have had, I'm not even going to sit here, I've had some sativa. People say sativa's keeps you up, right? It's supposed to keep you active. I've had some sativa that put me out, man. Like, shit. I was like, what happened to the staying active? And the shit had me sleeping, bro. I was like, what the fuck? It had my body so relaxed. I think that's what it was. Like, my body was like so relaxed that at one point my brain just like was like, oh yeah, go to sleep.
I mean, how many people say haze knocks them out? Right? Haze is a sativa.
Talking about haze, right? Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a ton of different ones. Like, so again, like, I've placeboed people. I've done all kinds of different shit just to experiment for myself. And I really haven't seen it be like, all right, cool, and trust me, I mean, I've had a lot of jacks that will knock me the fuck out. And I've had other jacks where they're like super energetic. But then you have other strains like a Blue Dream where it's like every time I smoke that shit, I'm like, and bouncing around. I have other ones like the citrusy joints, like the clementines and the tangies, that a lot of the times give me headaches.
I could agree with that.
I have, so again, like I think that's why I think terps have so much more to do with those effects. I mean, just the same way terps have those effects in nature. Right? You go to a pine forest, you go to a eucalyptus forest, you go to, you smell these different, terpenes that are naturally out there in the woods and nature and from plants. You have different mood swings, right? You're calm in those places, you're relaxed, it's soothing, and it's the same kind of thing with, essential oils and the terpenes from those plants and those derivatives. They're there to kind of soothe. So all of these things play a role in how you feel. So now imagine you're smoking it in cannabis. Why wouldn't those terpenes affect you? So again, to go back to the original question, for me, sativa indica is more the description of, it's like it's horticulture. It's talking about the plant itself, right? How they look, describing it, how it kind of grows, its characteristics. That's more of what indica and sativa are, at least from my experience and my perspective.
All right, cool.
I'm high, but it's a trip because I really don't taste it, but I'm high.
All right.
I feel it.
So that's good so far. White Plum Mochi is doing good. We'll see how we end up towards the end. We'll give it our final rating. So
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna smoke something else before that though, so I might fuck it up. Sorry.
That's all right. You just give us how you feel about it, you know what I mean, in general. That's how we take it, we give them the New York perspective on how we feel about the bud. I've been doing that with a lot of my guests, and even females have surprised me.
Oh yeah, we should actually probably do something, yo. I'm in a robe because we're at a bathhouse right now. This is kind of like my, my rituals, and I invited the Wake and Bake podcast down here to kind of just kick it and catch our vibes and get them out of their element and into my element. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, cannabis is just lifestyle, and it's it's just wellness, right? It's taking care of ourselves and making sure we good overall in general. So part of what I do is sweat and get some of the toxins out and just relax and chill. Because that helps me just be in my spirit and good. So when I gotta do dinners, like I just did a dinner last night. I went to one on Saturday and prepped earlier. We did one on Friday. So it's like there's always something, going on.
Definitely.
And so for me, it's like it's part of, like I said, overall wellness and taking care of myself.
Definitely. I appreciate this. This is definitely different for me, and I'm really enjoying myself here.
Got that lighter?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you got a lighter? Is that you got that lit? Oh, here, let me try that. Huh. Let's go. We just sampling all kinds of stuff here.
Yeah.
Off camera, on camera. Things are happening.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to get into is the sleepiness. Is the sleepiness, let's say, the same, and like couch lock effects from eating, ingesting edibles, certain stuff.
I mean, I can say yes and I can say no because everybody's experience is different. I got people that eat 1,000 milligrams of edibles just to start their day.
That's me.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got other people that eat 2 milligrams and they're like asleep, curled up in a corner. So it's everything is about the individual experience and you finding out, what works best for you. And to me, that's part of the fun, right? Is if we have a so-called scary experience or something we don't like, something that was uncomfortable, we got too high, you should learn from that also. What were all of the things that I could think of that could have contributed to that?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's always learning. That's just me.
And the plant in general, it's always something to learn about about cannabis.
Yeah, we don't know anything about it.
And it just keeps changing, and we just keep creating new flavors. Well, I wanted to also get into we were discussing, you was enlightening me about the endocannabinoid system.
For sure.
I wanted to give them a little breakdown on that, so that way they can know,
So what is this? What is this one again, yo? This is, I think, 996. I don't know. It's gas. That shit's fire. So yeah. So when all right. So I've always had this relationship with cannabis, right? Like I was a kid whose dad got mad at him when I smoked outside of the house. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, you can get in trouble, and just kick it at the crib and bring your friends over here. So it was cool that way. And so I've always had it's never been this bad thing to me, my family, my friends, or anything like that. And so I've always been open to learning, and that's I got to learn more about it and started learning about research. When I heard about the endogenous cannabinoid system, I was like, bro, it's crazy. Like every mammal with the vertebrae has a system of receptors, right? And we create cannabinoids. So, and the thing that benefits it, the craziest part is that shit creates homeostasis for our central nervous system. Right? And so that's why when you think about it, think about all the things this shit affects, right? Just like you said before, sleep, you get sleepy.
That's true.
Right? So it helps people go to sleep. Appetite. So you get hungry. It can help spark people when you have a problem eating. Or maybe even give you an appreciation for what you're eating. Pain, right? Because it helps relax you.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Help make you take your mind off of pain. Helps with inflammation, right? So it does all these different things. And so if you think about it, it creates homeostasis, right? It helps create balance for our overall well-being. And if the plant, cannabis, and the cannabinoids found in the plant service these receptors and open them up, it's like we should figure out, how to have some form of relationship, with this plant. And that's not to say we all have to be high. We all have to smoke. We all have to get lit. But we should, because, again, if we all have this system and it's active, whether you smoke or not, how can you use that to help benefit your health, right? And just how you feel, or potentially your emotions, right? Which, create how you feel, your reality, and everything else. Switch. I'll take that one. You take that one.
Oh yeah.
And so, also, this is my, I always smoke like this. So I never really ever hold the joint.
That's like a shotty, man. Almost damn near, huh? That reminds me of that word. We used to take shotties like that.
But especially in these COVID times, we're not.
Oh wow. I like that though. It actually hits different. Oh man.
I mean, I guess steamroller sounds strange.
Wow.
Yeah, it hits different, right?
Yeah, it definitely does. Wow. Bruh.
Now put one J here and one J here.
Oh my God. I think I really dig this, man. I think I found a new way to smoke, man.
There you go.
Yeah, adapt to that. Yeah, I like that.
And so like I said, when I learned about the endogenous cannabinoid system, it was really why I wanted to educate my peoples, because I feel like if we all learn about it, and again, we have these relationships with it, or develop our own relationship with it, we'll be more empowered. We'll be more healthy, right? More in control of our health, our wellness. And I think that's important, and I think a great way to do that is food, right? Because everybody loves food.
That's a definite.
You know what I'm saying? We break bread over food, so it's great to have conversations, over food. And that's why I think, what we do at the supper clubs, the dinners, all the private stuff, it really just, people love it, because it brings people together. You know what I'm saying? Food is an incredible glue. And if you think about, cannabis, if we all have this endogenous cannabinoid system, that's a oneness, right? Our love for food, that's a oneness. And then culturally, to me, hip hop is the most, is the greatest common denominator from our modern experience, and I feel like I'm naturally that, and I've lived that life doing that. So I bring all those three things together, and just again share, and again it's activating this cannabinoid system and making sure we're firing in high frequencies. That's the vibes.
Dope. Super dope, man.
Can you tell I'm high?
Oh yeah, I'm high. I tell y'all that much.
From which one?
Well, this was my first split for the day, so I'd say the plum mochi got me feeling right now. That's it. And that one is really good. What was that again? What was that other strain you guys just lit up?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, shit, that's a nice clean ash. Yes, this is a rough podcast to be on, just smoking and talking. Kind of like me just being here anyway. Except with a green light in my face.
What was one that, I want to get into this. Well, I know you've been smoking with different artists. What was one of the craziest, probably, sipes you can remember ever having?
I mean, it wasn't really a cipher, but
Or sesh, like everybody.
it's one that I mean, I guess it's a cipher, of course, but so in in '94, in January '94, I moved to Brooklyn, and I moved to Waverly between Fulton and Gates, which is like Clinton Hill. And it happened to be, my stop was Clinton, Washington, which happened to be the same stop that they filmed the Juicy video at. Right?
Wow.
So, it's right, it was Biggie's neighborhood. And so, we developed a relationship also because my man Matty C, Matt Life, was the guy who put him in the Source and Unsigned Hype. So he always knew I had good weed. I was in LA at this record convention, and it's called the BRE. It was like the Black Radio exclusive. And Big was there, and he sees me. And so me, him, and Prince Poe from Organized Confusion
Okay. Wow.
go downstairs, and I had my homegirl's car back at the time. I think it was like a white Ford Thunderbird. And so us three go in there and hotbox. You know what I'm saying? And so now every time I see
Hold on, my man. You talk about y'all hot box. It was you,
yeah,
Big,
yeah.
and who? Clark?
No, Prince Poe from Organized Confusion.
Oh, Prince Poe.
Yeah, from Organized Confusion.
Oh man, that's a legendary session, man.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Big. Word.
Yeah, so every time I just saw Larry, shout out to him, not too long ago in Fort Greene. And every time we see each other, he brings that shit up. Because that was the only time he met Big.
Wow.
And so I was his connect to Big. So that was a legendary one for me. Because obviously he's not alive anymore.
Word, man.
But I smoked with shit, mad.
You hella blunts with them, huh?
Well, because when I worked at the Source, like you had to come to my office to either get trees or to smoke.
So it was a hand in hand, like it was inevitable.
Yeah,
it was destined.
So I kind of had a relationship. I mean, a reputation, for being that guy that you had to see. So I know a lot of artists that way.
That's what's
You know
up.
what I'm saying? There's tons of sessions.
Where besides the mob, did you work with any other artists? Like as managing, or I know working in the Source general, you're gonna work with a lot of other artists, but as a manager,
not
it was just
directly like that. It was only role management. I managed producers. I managed Sean CNLV. I managed DJ Clark Kent
DJ
on the DJ side, like stuff like that, but not really like artists per se.
Okay, cool. That's big, man.
I mean,
shout
out to
Kent.
Black Dave. I've always, helped Black Dave, whenever he ever had questions as a young OG, but never management.
That's fire, man. That's dope. Wow, man.
And fuck around, somebody's going to be like, you forgot about such and such. I had artists in Philly that I fucked with. Shout out to Caution and Price, my OGs. But there was never anybody I signed. We got signed. I don't think.
Super dope, man.
It's bad. I live in the moment. I forget, and I seem to be letting go of memories. Recently, I'm noticing that. Like, I keep getting new ones.
You have beautiful memories, man. That's dope, man. And the way things work, this is why I love the cannabis plant. You see how it brings people together. You know what I'm saying? One way or another, it's always a positive vibe.
Oh, for sure.
It's never a negative vibe.
Well, I would say never.
I mean,
I would say never.
All right,
For the most
at that
part.
point, for the most part.
So I'll say.
But
So
why
I'll
would
say
you
this.
not say never?
Huh?
What? Go ahead. My fault
Because
to
I've
cut you.
been in bad situations with motherfuckers smoking weed. I've had.
A pet peeve. You got a pet.
No, I'm not a pet peeve at all. I'm saying I've been in bad situations.
Okay.
You've never been in a bad cipher or smoked with somebody you're like,
Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I have. We encountered
definitely
somebody smoking the whole spliff, and we was wondering where did it go.
Yeah, there you go. But I'll say this, right? and I don't know if I said this on, I probably have in another interview, but I'll say it here because this is a wake and bake, right? So like I said before, cannabis is the greatest common denominator on the planet. It's the only thing I know that we'll put on our mouths, touch to our lips, and share with the stranger and take back. Name me one other thing that you'll put on your lips, give to a stranger, and take back.
Nothing. That's a fact.
He's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Anything?
Nah, not that I could think of. Wow. That's true, though.
You know what I'm saying? So that again, and that gets me going back to the oneness, right? That's the greatest common denominator because of the endocannabinoid system. We all share that. You know what I'm saying? But our relationship to it is different. Like, think about it. A straw and a drink and a joint, both cylinders, right? You put them on your lips. You inhale. But what's in it is different, right? So to me, cannabis is that connector, that connective tissue, that reason for making us share something like that with a stranger.
I'm really digging smoking like this. I would just try to smoke how I was normally smoking and then went back to this.
Ah, shit. Converted.
Think I'm part of the gang now.
And the funny thing is, I'm not smoking like, we used to smoke like that before, but that came out of necessity. That's like smoking in COVID.
I was gonna ask you, how long have you been smoking like this?
I mean, I was like smoking in COVID, right?
Oh, that's when y'all started this?
That's what we really, I mean, again, it's not brand new. It's not like we invented. I'm not saying that. We've done it before. I'm saying it became a necessity and like more of a tool during COVID.
And I actually like it because I feel like it hits harder. Like,
You know, it's different for sure. Pause.
it feels like a shotty. Remember those, man? That's crazy, man. So let's get
I've
to
been in
that.
there too cozy, yo.
How long you've been since we talking about this? Where and you've been in the game? That's talking well over 20-something years.
Who you passing to? Where you?
How long have
Which
you?
one's working, y'all? I think the 996 hitting him a little bit harder, bro.
I think that 996.
I think that 996 is.
It is. It got me right.
My bad. So what you saying? How long I've been what?
How long has it been? I know you've been in the game. Wow, think about it. So how long you been smoking? How long you been smoking cannabis?
How long have I been smoking weed?
Yeah.
Oh, so now you want to know my age. So I just turned 48. So I've been smoking. I started smoking at 12.
Shit, we started at the same age. I'm 36.
But I still got 12 on you. So I've been smoking.
Facts.
So I've been smoking 36 years.
Deuce.
So I've been smoking your whole lifetime.
He was right. Y'all started the same year.
Yo,
Yeah,
facts.
that's a fact.
He said we
That's
started the
crazy.
same year. I started smoking the year he was born.
That's crazy. And then 12 years later, here I come in, learning what it's about.
Yeah, it's, you know, I take breaks periodically just to clear my head and shit like that, but I stopped drinking. I ain't drinking in 4.5 years.
Yeah, I barely drink too. That's dope though, man. So you have definitely just straight bud. Let's talk about these shots, man. This shot right here.
Oh, these shots, yeah.
Oh my God, bro. This is the one you gave me, right? This
Yeah.
the 30.
That's a sample, yo. So yeah, we was just messing around with these, like, it's just like, you know, lemonade. That's all it really is. And if you want, you could toss it in water or any drink, or you can just drink it straight.
Yeah,
Little on the go, you know, take it.
definitely some good stuff.
Yeah.
Had me and my bro bugging. We was like, okay. My bro was like, yo, I ain't even gonna lie. Thing is kind of hitting.
He was
pretty
knocked.
dope. Yeah, he was liking it. So,
Shout
Thumbs
out to you, buddy. You know who you are. We won't blow you up. Yeah, he hit me. He was definitely like, you know, sent me that emoji with the wild eyes. He was gone. It's all good though. But yeah, we just tell people, you know, I mean, again, like, so that's the funny thing too, right? Is you see so many people with the packaging and, you know, says 500 milligrams and it says, and you take this shit and be hit or miss or don't even be anything. And for us, that was super important to just be really consistent and be able to replicate the experience. So where you drank this bottle, I drink that bottle, we're not going to be the same high because how we absorb and process THC is going to be different, but we're going to get the same amount. If that, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like, so that was important to me, and that's always been important to me through our products like this, our packaged goods, or our, you know, dinners and everything else that we do. Like, that shit is all, I want everybody to know, like, that shit is very important, and everything that we do is like that consistency.
And what's crazy is it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters the size of the person. Like, if you know how they say alcohol, you bigger, you could probably take in more liquor. I don't think that matters, because my boy he's bigger than me, and that shit hit him harder, way harder than it hit me though.
Oh, yeah,
So you're right about that. It does affect everybody differently.
I know little girls that can eat way more than like that big 400-pound security guard.
Shit, that's true, bro. Skinny, I see skinny people tear the whole.
And be fine. You know what I'm saying? I see security guards be like, I need to go to the hospital. I'm hurt.
Crazy.
Scared right now.
So, all right. So, I want to get a little more into. Still, let's keep it at the young. So you started at 12. What was one of your craziest moments in your early stages smoking, when you were smoking? Yeah, any like highs, that like memorable highs, younger days? What was it like getting caught by your parent for the first time? That'll be a good question.
For me, I think we left a bunch of, like, it was like right when we first learned about blunts.
Yeah.
It was probably like 87, 88. And we left all this shit on the table. And my dad, when I came back, was like, again, he was mad that we left all this shit out and the shit was dirty. But he was more mad that we were smoking more outside than, because he was like, why'd y'all leave? Why'd y'all just stay here? You know what I'm saying? So it was never really getting caught. I smoked with my parents.
Oh, that's love, man.
That's fine. So, like, that's not even, you know, that's not even a thing.
That's
like,
dope,
you
man.
know, my pops, you know, I was pinching from my pops. and might have been using that to get my jump start, you know, in my own biz. You know, wink, wink.
Fire. That's dope.
Yeah, so it was family. Like I said, bro, I grew up. My mom's dropped acid like 2 days after I was born. Like, it wasn't like me being into cannabis and psychedelics and it's just part of my lineage. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the life. And that's why I would say, for me, like, it's just me living my life, and I think other people have similar interests, and so our vibrations resonate, and that's how I build community. You know what I'm saying? It's never been like, oh shit, this is cool, you should do it too. It's just like, this is what I do.
Yeah, that's a fact. You want to get with
You
it?
know? Yeah,
You
yeah, cool. Let's fuck
All right,
around.
let's do
Yeah.
it. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I love about it too, man. Like, the beginning and the transition to where we at now is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? The shit we had to go through before for bud is crazy. To where we at now, you know, is a blessing. And
I mean,
you know,
shit, legalization in this city is crazy, right? So, like, being in New York, and, you know, this is why I planted my flag here. You know, I could have gone to Cali and probably started the business, but I looked at the market and I was like, yo, if I'm not out there, really feet on the ground pushing, you know, and I couldn't at the time because my son was still in high school. That market was so crazy that you're still fucked up. Like, the taxes are bananas out there, and it's tough for companies to survive. So I was like, New York is the largest market, and when that shit goes legal, it's gonna be nuts. Like, it's gonna be. So I was like, let's plant the flag here. And so the way I approached the dinners and doing everything, you know, treating them as focus groups, you know, really, you know, looking at our tagline of responsible consumption through proper dosing, and making sure that we have a replicable experience that's enjoyable for the expert to the novice. right? I want somebody who's been smoking their whole life, as well as a person who's never smoked ever, to be able to come to the same event, have the same dosage, and be good. Because it's not just the dosage, there's other parts of it. It's the meal, it's the service, it's everything. It's the intentions, it's the why. It's so many different variables and components to why we do what we do and how we do it. And so all of that to say, this moment right now of legalization is why I approached everything that way, was to be able to say, you know, I have done over 150 of these events. You know what I'm saying? We've been in front of thousands and thousands of people. And, you know, they love it. They all have similar things to say. And, hey, I want to create this pilot program for doing what we do. You know? And, like, this time is exciting because, you know, again, it should have been legal. We shouldn't even been arguing about man, you know, creating laws around nature. Like, so I'm not excited that it's like, oh yeah, we passed this law. I'm excited that we don't have to talk about this bullshit no more, right? And now hopefully we can figure out a regulated market. I'm saying hopefully we can figure out a regulated market that will make sense, will be obviously equitable, and, you know, we'll be able to participate, but will be sustainable. Will be something that can actually thrive and not just be here, you know what I'm saying, and struggle. That's what I'm hoping for. So, I'm excited for those reasons. I think it's dope as fuck that the amount that we can have and hold 5 Ps at the crib is sick. Three zips on you is ill. Like, I never would have thought the day when they would say that you could walk anywhere and smoke trees, that you could smoke cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? And not get harassed or anything is like, that's ill. Like, so to me, that's incredible. Because even in the other legal markets, like, that's not what's stated, you know, and that's not the law. It's still legal to smoke in a lot of markets, you know, and especially indoors in apartments and buildings and all kinds of places. So I think, again, it's dope to have these conversations and it's exciting. But in the back of my mind, I'm always like, we shouldn't even be having this fucking conversation.
Or it should have been this way from the get.
We shouldn't have ever have had this conversation, you know? Like, again, who are we as animals on this planet to say what nature is legal or not? You know what I'm saying? Sure. When we're destroying it, you know, when we're eradicating, you know, the very forests and rainforests that create the oxygen needed and CO2 needed for this planet, you know, for balance, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to say cannabis is a gateway drug and all this other shit. It's like, you know, it's all bullshit propaganda at the end of the day.
And now they realizing that's I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you hit that topic. Talking about that, it producing oxygen, you know, I was reading up that the hemp plant, it provides actually oxygen just like a tree. And it takes less time for it to grow than a tree. So then I started thinking, they were having this conversation, what if it was just, you know, we plant hemp plants all around the world, you know, to cure the world, you know, and add more air to the you know.
But then it goes back to the question of why aren't we doing that, or why did we stop doing that, right? Because if you think about it, you know, CBD and hemp and CBD, because of that, we're automatically a part of. Should we pause for a sec? I mean, fuck it. Why pause? This shit is real, yo. We doing this shit live, you know. But, you know, CBD through hemp, because cannabis basically regenerates, right? It reciprocates all of the nutrients that are found, you know, as it grows, you know, in its soil. So it helps to not only replenish the soil, but also put food and other vitamins and minerals back into the soil, which helps feed everything that it's around. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So Damn, what was the original point? You threw me off with this shit.
We were talking about you still on track with it.
No, I know,
about it
but-
providing oxygen.
Oxygen, right?
Yeah.
So again, it was part of the overall ecosystem, right? So if the animals were eating it, we were eating it through eating the animals, right? And so it was naturally there. So once they started pulling that out and eradicating it because of making it illegal, things potentially could have started to change, right? So if you look at our health during the 1900s, the 20th century, maybe the decline in our health could have been part of that. Who knows?
Wow.
Right? So it's just a
crazy.
theory. But that could potentially be. You know what I'm saying?
It definitely can.
So, again, with it being oxygen, could we do that? Yeah. But again, go back to why aren't we doing that? Or why did we stop doing that if we were doing
I feel like we definitely should get to doing that now that it's, becoming legal. It's not far from being legal in all states. I feel like maybe there'll be probably a few states that'll stay out of it.
So
But
I'm just gonna, so it's like I think a lot of us that are listening to this and us talking here and us in this room agree. So the question goes back to why aren't we doing that? So it's not how can we do it, it's more why aren't we doing these things? Because then that'll help you figure out how we can do them.
yes,
You understand?
I like that.
We can't if we start from a position of ignoring the facts, right? And a lot of the facts are to me they're not allowing us to do these things, right? That's a fact, right? Because of these laws. If these laws weren't there, we would have a relationship like we should have and probably did from the beginning. So why aren't we allowed to have this? Why is this? You know what I'm saying? So to me, we figured that part out. That'll allow us to figure out how to do it again.
That's fire. Super deep. I'm glad we got into that, man, because that's a strong topic of discussion, and I feel like the world, should definitely be looking into what we're talking about too, because right now global warming is real, and maybe, who knows, maybe that's why they did speed up the process on this situation. Us talking about what we're talking about, they might be on the verge of working on that too, allowing us to grow, you know what I'm saying, as a step, you know what I'm saying, and legalizing it in most of the states that they have. I feel like it's a starting step, it's a beginning.
Let's grow more hemp and see what happens. I say that's a start.
Yo, the hemp fields, I actually got to see one in upstate New York, and I was like surprised, man. I was like, holy shit. Like, I didn't think right in upstate New York they'll have a whole hemp field how they did. We're talking about killer acres of that shit, bro. I was like amazed. And just seeing that, and imagining if, they had other, like we talking now, other green fields like that over here, which is
I like that. Good answer.
that's dope. All right, cool. In How High, what was Red and Meth's name?
Silas and some, no?
Wow, you got the hardest name out of all of them. Everybody had a problem with that name right there. You got it. That was the first one.
Damn it. Fuck, what was his name? I just watched that shit too. See, I'm too high. I'm high. How high? I'm that high. What was the other one's name?
Jamal.
Jamal?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Reggie was Jamal. Yeah. Damn
All
it.
right, cool.
See?
All right, in Cheech and Chong, right? I don't know if you remember this movie. In Cheech and Chong, in the house party they will win. What did the girl wind up, the girl that was in the kitchen, that Cheech was with in the kitchen, what did she intake to have her tripping?
Cocaine? What?
It was close. She thought it was cocaine. It was Ajax, though. But that was a good one. Cheech was bugging out. Cheech seeing her sniff the
from
Ajax.
Chong's from his, the joke.
She thought it was
Got
that.
you.
All right, cool. And Harold and
I feel like I'm
Kumar.
high.
And
Yeah.
Harold and Kumar.
I've seen them all. Do I remember and retain all of that information? Nah, my son is great at this shit. Actually, this guy, can I have him be my pinch hitter?
He can help you. All right, at this point, I'll allow him to throw one in there at this point. I'll allow it because he's down 3 right now. He's down 3.
You didn't know the other one? You didn't know the Ajax? You knew the Ajax.
Dude, I smoke weed.
See, that's the problem. We watch all these movies and get high to watch the high movies.
Here
So
go.
we remember select parts. Like you remember the randomest shit of the, you know.
Cool. What in Harold and Kumar? What was Harold? What was the girl's name? Harold was
Damn it.
digging. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the last name. Angie.
Angie? No.
Maria.
Huh?
Maria?
Maria?
All right, cool. Here's another one, man. I'll give you another one from that movie. Let's see this one right here. They and
White Castle.
Well, they end up there. What animal did they wind up riding through the woods? What animal did they wind up getting high and riding through the woods? Kind of fucked me up too. It was kind of
Unicorn?
weird. I'll give you a chance. I'll give you a chance.
It was a bear?
Nah, y'all got it wrong, man. It's a cheetah. I was even bugging out. How the fuck could a cheetah appear in the fucking woods? And these guys took
I thought
off
I'm
for
like
that
a
shit.
unicorn?
That shit had me bugging out. I'm not even gonna lie. And then they wound up on the fucking hang glider going down to White Castle.
I was going to say
man.
Doogie Howser.
Yeah, he was the one on the unicorn, though. He definitely was the one on the unicorn. Great fucking movie. All right, cool. I got another one.
What's
for
it?
you
All right,
guys.
come on. I'm over. Let's go.
All right. Which Olympic athlete got caught holding a bomb in 2006?
Oh, Michael Phelps.
Hey, there you go.
Yo, that was actually one of my favorite strains. I only smoked that shit one time. That shit was great, though.
It was? Wow. I didn't even know. That's crazy.
It was really random. It was probably just named that. You know. Probably some OG.
All right, cool. Here's another one I got for you before we close it out. Which legendary singer created this? Did the song called "Purple Haze"?
Which legendary singer? What, Jimi Hendrix?
Yes, sir. There you
Oh.
go.
I was going to say camera?
Well, that's another part. So he is legendary too, but not, he's not Jimi Hendrix though. But super dope, man. Super dope. It's been a pleasure having you here, Hawaii, for real.
No doubt.
This is the man behind Chef for Hire, guy who's there to normalize your flight, right? On cannabinoids.
Well, we want to normalize the use of cannabinoids as an everyday essential.
There you
So
go.
that's what I'm saying. Everybody should have a relationship with the plant in some way, shape, or form. Not necessarily to get high, but for your health and wellness.
There you go. It's been a pleasure and honor having you on the Wake and Bake.
Appreciate you.
Before we close out, how do you feel about the plum mochi?
It was cool.
Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I think it was light, though. It was a nice touch.
Light
You know what
touch,
I'm saying?
right? Pretty cool. I'll give it that too, man. You already know. Big shout out to LA Cars, Ted Buds, and Dubs Garden. You already know. What was we want to shout out the guys behind T. What was it? T90.
I don't know what we smoked, 96 or something. I don't know. Nah, I don't know.
996 by Candy Paint Flowers.
Shout out to Candy Paint Flowers. 996, man. That was some pretty dope shit, man. So,
But shout out to Chef for Hire, though.
and definitely,
And check us out, chefforhire.com. If you want to hire us, tap in over there. Or hit us on Instagram, Chef for Hire.
yes, sir.
And that's
you already know.
HIGHER, Chef for Hire.
Yes, sir. And you already know we out of here, man. It's your boy Fax, host of the Wake and Bake Show, man. Always love. Blessings.
Peace.
Wake up, get high, all day through the night. Prepare to take flight through the sky. Start your day right. Wake up, get high, all day through the night. Prepare to take flight through the sky.